Hey everyone, this is a different kind of video. Usually my videos are scripted and they're usually dealing specifically with music careers, but in this case I wanted to share something more practical that I do regularly in my career, which is writing marching percussion music. I was looking around YouTube for some inspiration about how other people do this and maybe some tips on being more efficient about it, and I saw nothing at all whatsoever. And so I saw a vacuum in the information and I thought maybe I have a little something to contribute. So that's what we're doing here. This is like a first run. So please let me know what you think about this in the comments if this is something you'd like to see more of. Thank you. All right. So this is an arrangement of A Mis Abuelos and Barcelona by Arturo Sandoval. And a marching band that I write for is playing this music, and so I'm arranging for them. Let's look at the instrumentation real quick. They're expecting to have 5 basses, 2 tenors, and 3 snares. I'm guessing at least 2 auxiliary percussion players, and I've been explicitly told a marimba, xylophone, vibraphone, and xylophone and glockenspiel. So that's what I'm writing for here. So here we have like a big trumpet solo entrance right here, and then right out of that starts this drum break that I've written. So I'll let you hear that and hear what that sounds like. So that's what we have so far, and I am going to get started writing for this big opening statement right here. So I think for this video I might write the first 8 bars or so right here. All right, let's get started. So let's listen to what happens here, and let's notice some different things that happen in the winds, because the winds are, of course, our inspiration for what we write. Here we go. So that's what we've got first. I want to point your attention to the tuba line. Usually when I'm writing, and I'm mostly focused on groove marching percussion writing. I don't very often write the more linear style of chord style writing, just because my clients don't ask that of me. Usually what they're looking for is something that's pretty learnable, and that relates to their crowd. So I don't really write for competition bands or anything like that. So with that said, I'm looking at this tuba part, and this tuba part does not lend itself to a repetitive bass drum groove. Let's listen to it. So that's tasty, but it's not, we're not just going to put a mambo on top of that and call it a day. That's going to require a little bit of personality from our bass drums. So let's see what I can put together for that. Scrolling down. So I'm seeing this dotted quarter note to the 8th note pattern that also happens right here and here and here. Those are really the consistent things. Everything else after that is very much like a traditional Latin tumbao that the bass player might play. Has that kind of dancing feeling to it. So we'll at least start with that 1. Okay, so let's get. And then something linear in a split. And this is like a beginning sketch. I'm certainly going to change this around, because this is a big fortissimo section. It's big, it's loud, so we need something that hits with that punch. But just to start, here's our sketch for our bass line. How about... Let's see what that sounds like with the tubas. Yeah. So we're getting somewhere now. Notice that these 2 quarter notes line up nicely with these 2 8th notes. We want our bass drums and our tubas to agree as much as possible rhythmically when we're in an impact moment like this. creates a unified sound. So I think that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and take this bar and put it here as well. Oh, not that bar. This bar and put it here as well. You can do that on Sibelius by highlighting a bar and then holding Alt and clicking on the bar, just in case you're wondering. And then let's put another sketch possibility in here. Actually, okay, let's try that. Let's see what happens. That might be a good start. Okay, actually, this is a great start right here. Maybe let's try it in the next couple bars as well. We've got that line up there and the line up here. Again, this is a sketch. We're going to fill this in with some fire in a minute. There we go. Yeah, so we just need to adjust for this and of 4 going on here. So let's pull this over. Yeah, so I'm a drum set player. That's my main deal. And because of that, I often think about writing for marching percussion the way I think about setting up a big band, especially like a jazz band, or even figures if you were playing like some gospel music or R&B music. So for this and of 4 that we have here, right there, to set that up, and it looks like actually a number of our instruments have that, some long notes and some short notes. The way I would set that up if I was playing drum set, I would go, to crash. That's what I would do. And so I'm going to look for a way in writing this music to give these different figures the setup that they need in order to be successful for the ear of the audience. That's kind of what I'm aiming for there. Okay, so let's look at how this, I guess, sketch of a bass part might be. Yeah, okay, that is the right idea. Okay, so now let's fill this in with some more interesting splits. I think repetition is great because it makes the music more learnable, and the fewer notes the kids have to learn in order to give an effective show and to be educationally challenged and all the things that we want in our music, the better. So being economic with what we're writing, it helps the program, and programs like it when you help them. So don't just throw all of your creative stuff at the program and say, take that! Try to be as helpful as you can as possible. So with that said, let's see what we have here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's start with that. Boom, boom, boom. So then I'll put here as though we had a running line going down the basses. So the bass 1, and then a unison, and then bass 3 here, which leads nicely up to that. So let's hear just what that sounds like. Yeah, so now we've got some groove happening there and some interplay. I'm going to do something similar here. So I'm going to take these 2 bars, I'm going to move them here. And then Sibelius has this cool feature. If you hit Shift, Alt, N, you can re-input the notes without changing the rhythm. So I'm going to use this same rhythm, but I'm going to re-voice the drums. So the drums start going down, and then I'm going to take them back up is my intention here. Ooh, and then I could put, there we go. Let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, and I get that ba-boom in there. So we get a little bit of independence from the tuba line there. I like that. Let's hear what it sounds like with the tuba line. Yeah, and so these ones right here stabilize the beat, and then the splits add color and also give the audience something interesting to hear from the bass drums. Okay, cool. Let's see what's happening next. See what I would like to change here. Think about what you would put here. Do this with me. So I'm going to break up that pattern from before and I'm going to make it even more linear. Right now, the voices here would be, like we were to think of it as a melody, would be 4 notes on bass drum 1, and then a line that goes down from drum 1 to drum 3, and then 2 notes here, 2 notes here, and 2 notes here. So I'm going to start breaking it up to where we're getting eighth notes at a time, individual eighth notes at a time instead of groups of eighth notes. So let's try something like this. Yeah. So I don't want to repeat a G here. Melodically that would be kind of like 3 G's in a row. So I'll take it back down to drum 2. And then since we have these 2 notes here, I'm going to give 2 eighth notes here for a match of effect. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And then we've got this crescendo here, a full, almost full ensemble crescendo. Sorry, not really. Just anyone that has a long note short of these alto saxophones, they're all crescendoing. So I want to see what I can do to build some energy here. So maybe it's time for a few sixteenths. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, something like that. A lot of this becomes intuitive as you do it. And so, for instance, what I'm doing right now, there is not a rhyme or reason as far as what the other winds are doing that's informing me to write. It's just kind of an intuitive thing. You know, I've got a certain drumline vocabulary in here, and I'm making use of it in its appropriate places. That's really all that's happening here. The non-intuitive, musically informed thing is there's a crescendo happening right here, so I'm trying to find a way to facilitate that crescendo from the drums. That's really the one thing right there. All right, so let's see what that sounds like, see if we're satisfied with it. And then there's 2 ways that you can finish this phrase out. And the way I finish it here is going to inform the way I'm going to finish it in the rest of the percussion ensemble as well. So you got to be kind of delicate about that. Not delicate, I'd say intentional about that. So there's it's the end of the phrase, let's play a lot of notes procedure, which isn't wrong, but I think that's not the procedure I want to use here. Instead, I want to use the attitude procedure, which is let's play as little as possible with as much attitude as possible, and let's end the phrase that way. Neither of those things are wrong, but I think that ending it this way is going to have a really good effect, and it's going to be a nice comma in going into this next phrase. This next phrase is just trumpet solo. So I'm also thinking about my transition as well. All right, so let's figure out what to write here. Let's go back simple. And let's even take eighth notes going down. Let's see how that sounds. All right, let's give it a shot. Let's see what it sounds like. I think I already have a different idea though. Yeah. Just to get a little more variety in the melodic motion, I'm going to bring this down to drum 2, and let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, that is much more beautiful. Yeah, let's stick with it for now. Okay, so we've got our bass line for our 8 bars. Let's say that's done for this moment, and then we're gonna move to the snares. I generally write the snares and tenors to complement each other, as many arrangers do. So I'm gonna start with a snare drum here. I gotta figure out, what I'm hearing on this now that I've got this bass line. Um, hmm. Hmm. So another drum set idea, another setup thing would be what can we do with these different lines? Dun, bum, bum. What could I do with that that would be supportive? And sometimes the wind score gives you the answer. So for instance, I think the answer is right here. 16th notes, 16th notes, boom, boom. That's like the obvious thing to do, at least in my mind, right? So let's get that set up down here. How about some fat double stroke rolls to get us started? Okay, I like that. And then let's go ahead and drop this down to the tenors as well, and we'll respell those notes. Now, of course, if I'm going to do that here, I've also got to do it with the bass drums to get that full impact. So I'm going to reverse what I had here for something else. Ooh, I could just literally reverse it. Yeah. Ooh, that's gonna be good. Okay, so now our cymbals, I'm gonna have our cymbals join on that. So we've got. All right, so I had to go and look at my virtual drumline template for a second, but now I'm back. So now we're ready to get these hits to happen with the cymbals. I'm gonna make this one short to match the articulations of the instruments that are playing that hit, and then this one's a nice long one. So we got crash. Let's see what happens with all of it. Let's pull it back a little. How about right there? Yeah, I think now we're talking. Generally, in my process, I start with the battery and the auxiliary percussion, and try to get all of the sounds that I want covered that create that foundation. And then after that, I add all the other stuff, the front ensemble. The front ensemble is kind of the icing. Without that foundation, it's hard to write for the front ensemble. It's hard to hear the correct thing to write. And it also is lacking that foundation. So there you go. All right, so let's continue with our snare drum writing. So when you're writing groove-based writing, one of the dangers can be that it becomes so repetitive that the music that you're writing is no longer educational. And so one of the ways that I do that is I try to write simple things with interesting stickings. And so by using interesting stickings but still simple things, you satisfy the need of making something groove really nice without putting quintuplets and stuff that don't necessarily fit the groove. And it's still educational and challenging for the students. So right here, my idea is to focus on some 3-stroke roughs, left, right, left. And so they're going to be starting on a left, right, left there in a second. Yeah. And then 5-stroke rolly stuff. Super common 5-stroke roll vocabulary right there. And we're going to be putting the stickings in a second, and you'll see how that works. I found it's easiest to know the stickings in my head and then put them in rather than put them in each time I put in a note, because putting in the stickings interrupts the creative process of getting the music in. And I don't want to interrupt any creative process because I don't want to lose any of these ideas I have, because I only have like 7 anyway if I lose one. You know. Okay. Which fits nicely with what's happening here. Let's see what happens next up here. We've got quarter note triplets all day. Quarter note triplets all day. Okay, so how do I support that down here? Well, I could go all quarter note triplety all day, but instead I'm just going to play some rhythms that get around the quarter note triplets without confusing them. The other thing too is these quarter note triplets are happening where? Trumpets, 3 trumpets, alto sax, clarinet, flute. It's in the melody. It's not in the low parts where the drum line sonically lives. So I don't need to worry too much about those quarter note triplets. Definitely copying them would be, I think, not the best taste. So maybe we can find a line that continues nicely with that. We've got those 2 quarter notes happening there. Who else has 2 quarter notes? No one else. So it's just the bass. What other lines are happening? So you see I'm looking around here. I'm trying to let the score kind of inform what else we might put in here. Boom, boom, boom. And then a half note. So something that leads up to 2 quarter notes feels like the right thing here. So boom. Yeah, so something like that. So right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, starting on the right hand. And then I'm going to put some 16th notes in here. And I'm going to think of an interesting sticking to play there in a second. And again, we're going to go with my attitude idea rather than putting the most show-offy thing possible inside the space. Let's go with some attitude. Let's just make a nice comma to our musical sentence there. Here's what this sounds like together. I don't like the motion of the quarter notes. There's a lot more forward motion with those quarter note triplets in the upper winds. So I'm going to do something else there. Let's try which would work nicely with dum ba bum, which is coming up next. So we'll leave that there for now, but I think I know what's going to happen there. Let's see if this matches the velocity of the winds a little better. Yeah, so that's going to do it. So now we've created some additional accents up here that I want to bring down to our bass drums as well. So boom, boom, boom. That accent is there. But this accent is not. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this, hold that Alt button, go down to count 3 down here, and boom, it happens there. I'm going to press my left button to get over to this and select it, and then do our re-entry of the notes. Change that. And we're going to make all of these unisons. Correct lines there, and that's supposed to be a rim. What's a rim? 29. There it is. All right, let's see if this matches a little better. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're getting somewhere. And I can see 2 crashes happening up here. Let's just go ahead and put those in and we'll see what happens. There we go. Still learning where everything is on the sound template here. Okay. Also expecting that. There we go. Okay, so let's put some stickings in here, and then I'm going to bring it down to the tenors, and we'll see if we'll keep it unison or maybe do something different. We'll see. So right, left, right, left, right, left, left. Actually, I take that back. This is a great opportunity to alternate, which ups the level of the music without changing the density of it. All right, those stickings are getting in there. Boom, okay, here they are. And then, what do I want to put here that'll be interesting? Let's keep that left hand alternate happening, and we'll get a left hand paradiddle diddle there. And followed by another left hand paradiddle into the rim shot. I really like that. So we get woo! Yeah, so that's good. That's good stickings, man. That's good stickings. Okay, and we'll pull it down. That feature is like, that's an amazing feature. If you're not using that regularly, like you gotta get it together. And then followed immediately by the next awesome feature. So re-enter the notes. That's Shift Alt N. Let's go from drum 2. We'll leave those there. Actually, we'll take that last one down, and then we'll put all of these on drum 4 to get a nice unmoved sound. So that gives us variety in where our tenor drums are going, which is going to make the rest of it mean a little bit more when we move it around. Up to drum 1 there. And then back down to drum 4 for impact. Drum 1. And we're expecting drum 4 to happen there again, but who knows? All right, so let's hear what these 4 bars sound like together. That's hot. Okay, let's see if there's anything else I want to do with our bass line. Maybe a drum 1 to match the rim shot. So I'm just looking at these vertical parts here and seeing if I want anything else to have a full vertical impact. Ooh, okay, here's an idea. So let's take these voices up so that we can give drum 1 a nice 16th note solo with the snares and tenors. Let's hear what that sounds like, battery only. Woo-hoo! So that has that nice up to down sound that I like a lot. This sound? Yeah, so that big change in frequency that creates that variety. I like that sound a lot. I tend to use it quite a lot. So let's hear it one more time, all of those together. Okay, so that's a good start. What are we going to do with our auxiliary here? More crashes. Big crash right there on that third bar. How about on the and of 4 there too? I'm wondering if I could get something interesting to happen right there, like maybe a crescendo of 2 crashes and then nothing on count 1 to get that to and. Let's try that and see what it sounds like. Rest. No staccato there. We're gonna go mezzo piano, escape, tab, H, space, 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 right here. And we want that to go all the way up to fortissimo. So let's see what this happens to how this sounds together. I'm happy with how that sounds. What about our friend that has a break drum and concert toms? Is there another percussion instrument we'd like for him to have here? I'm pretty sure over here I'm going to have him go to the cowbell, so I don't want to use a cowbell yet. I am not able to make a decision about that at this time. So let's continue linearly with our drum line. Let's hear what happens next. So I hear a phrase ending happening right there on this bar right here. Check it out. Pop, check it out. That would be a great time for the battery to match the melody. So let's see how I can lead up to that. Yeah, so we can probably borrow this sticking from here, bring it here. So this is an interesting thing. We could put the rim shot right on count 3, which would be strong. It would have a strong sound. Or we could put it right on that and of 3 to match the melody. So let's kind of see how both of them sound. I have a feeling it's going to end up being the other way around. Let's start there. Get rid of all these diddles I accidentally put in. Second. All right, let's hear it. Let's even sketch it into the tenors here and see what it sounds like. So let's say they played that on drum 1. So I think I don't like this rest here. I think it interrupts the flow. So instead I'm going to continue with the 16th notes here, but there'll be taps. Take those, not all of them. Take those, borrow them, and bring them down here. Oh, let's see how that sounds. Woo! So that has like a nice crescendo effect too. And so let's take these. Unison. I wonder. A lot of this is just trial and error and seeing if you like what happens. The blessing of sound playback and good sounds like those that are found in virtual drumline is it lets you test out all of your ideas before you give them to people. And so I find that to be very valuable. Yeah, I think I really like that. I like that there's some like breathing in space in there. It's not just drumline, 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 drumline. You know, I like that there's some space in there. Some four-stroke rolls with four-stroke roughs would be pretty sweet here. So what I'm eventually looking at is right, left, right, no accents, left, right, left, right, left, right. Oh, something I could have done instead is select that and press R. So I'm looking for something like that. So all right. So let's see if I like that sound. That might totally change what this does. We might go full unison on the batter. You see up here that we've got our low brass drops down the piano and does a big crescendo there, and our tenor saxophones. And that's like the meat of our marching band, right? It's our low brass and our tenor saxophones. So if the low brass and the tenor saxophones do it, it kind of sounds like the whole band is doing it. And so I wouldn't want to ignore that. I want to find a way to build some intensity in the battery as well. So let's see what that might look like. Yeah, that's great. Okay. We'll probably decrescendo these down to mezzo piano, and a nice big crescendo back up to fortissimo. Is that where we are? Forte. The nice thing about that alt and click thing is that it brings all of the information down. So I'm going to go ahead and put the sticking in because I know what I'm going to do with it. A lot of times I'm not fully 1000% sure about the sticking until I get down to writing it, but I'm really entirely sure about this one. And let's go right, left, right. Put some double strokes in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this down. And then I'm also going to pull it down here. I'm going to go over and filter. I was going to filter this stickings out, but actually I think I like these stickings for these as well. So here's going to do that note reentry. Oops. Oh no. Yeah, so that's some good, nice linear motion. We'll do the same here. Maybe not, huh? Let's start with the two drums there. And then maybe let's pull it down a little bit at a time. Oh, yeah. That's a nice way to approach it. Up, and boop, 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 boop. And let's get our first spot in there. Okay, so let's see if we like this phrasing, and then I'm going to have to go back and do some adjustments in here. Ooh, I like it. I just think it goes down too quiet. So the other thing too, especially with marching percussion, is that pitch often equals dynamics. So bass drum 4 is less easy to hear than bass drum 1. And going down the drums in the tenors naturally has a decrescendo effect. Some of it is the playability of tenors, but also just the nature of how pitches work. So maybe this doesn't require a decrescendo. Maybe it naturally decrescendos due to the drop in pitch and the up in pitch. Well, let's check it out. Let's see. Okay, so I dig that. I really like how that sounds. I'm gonna say that these areas are done. I just want to work on these 2 bars right here. I think I actually might be satisfied with these bars, short of the pitches on the tenors. So let's work on that real quick. How do you choose the pitches on the tenors? It depends a lot on the context. Sometimes I will have the tenors match the direction of the winds, but the drum line is also an independent musical body. And sometimes we want the drum line and the marching percussion to line right up with what the winds are doing. Other times that's not a necessity. And so sometimes we do it intuitively. I'm probably about to do this intuitively rather than let it be informed by the downward motion of the winds on this one. But let's see what happens. Let's go up. Let's go against the winds on this. And then we have the same question here. Well, the basses are going down. Must the tenors go down? No, they don't have to go down. It's an aesthetic choice. If there isn't a musical need necessarily, then we can decide what we want. And I was planning on double strokes here, which leads us nicely back up to our right hand there. So let's go ahead and put these correct stickings in. Let's go right, left. Natural sticking here. And a double. And then check this out. So I can select that bar and then filter the staff text. The shortcut for that is these right here. Alt-Shift-Command-S. So I can Alt-Shift-Command-S that. And then I can also Alt-click that. Man, is that not amazing? Okay, so now we've got some personality in our tenor drums, and I think we're making some good impact. Let's hear all the battery parts again. Nice. I like these 8 bars. I'm yet to be determined on what I want out of crash cymbals here. Let's give that another here for listening for crash cymbal possibilities now. I think I might like this melody to happen here. So I'm going to grab these notes right up here that are the rhythm already. I'm going to pull them down to the cymbals, and then I'm going to use that incredible note reentry tool to get them in the right place. Is that not amazing? That is nuts to me. Boom. Remove the articulations that are not needed. And this one's going to be short. Won't need the dynamics. Grabs the dynamics. Yeah, so I think that's going to sound really great there. It's going to do a nice job of matching this baritone rhythm, trombones, tenor saxophones. That group is really the group you want to aim for to emulate your crashes, to map your crashes, to have your crashes emulate, whatever you like. So, how about a quarter note crescendo into those? Yeah, now we're talking. We'll leave the tie there. Okay. I almost don't want the second auxiliary player. I really don't want them to play. I gotta think about that. I gotta think about that for a second. Okay. I don't know. What do you think? What should they have there? I think I'd like something repetitive there. LP makes these fat Brazilian shakers that work really well for marching band. Maybe I'm thinking that. I don't know. I've got to decide on that. Okay, we're going to call that a video for now. Hey, if this was interesting, please let me know. If you found it valuable, I'd love to make more of these. They're not terribly difficult to make. And this is time that I have to use anyway to write music, so I'd love to be able to do it with you. So if this is something that interests you, let me know below. All right, we'll call that a video. The next time you see me, I'll be working on the front ensemble parts for these 8 bars. See you later.